All right, we'll go ahead and get started. There we go. I'm Chris Berry with Castle Wealth Group, certified financial planner, certified law attorney, and just about each and every week we like to have these wisdom webinars where we talk legal, financial, tax planning, really just answering any questions that are submitted or that come in over the week. And if you do have a question, feel free to put it in the Q&A. I always like to start with positive focus, just something positive that I hope it happened over the last week. For me, it was my birthday. So went out to dinner with the family and had some soccer stuff. So it was good. It was a good weekend. With that, we'll get into the questions. If you do have a question, again, put it into the Q&A and I'll go ahead and address it. This week, I think I only have one that came over ahead of time. So let me share my screen here and get it so it's easy to read. Oops, give me a second. All right, so let me share my screen now. All right. So say my 90-year-old mom has 250,000 in an IRA and about the same in non-qualified annuity. Besides Social Security and pension, she needs about 4,000 or 40,000 a year to help pay for assisted living while not touching funds in our Castle Trust. So if you're not familiar, Castle Trust, it's a form of asset protection trust where once the assets move into the trust and you make it 5 years, then everything inside of the trust is protected from that nursing home or Medicaid spend down. And Medicaid is a program that can pay for your nursing home care. So we can set up a legal structure, we call it a Castle Trust, where once we move the money into the trust, we make it 5 years. Now 100% of what's in that trust is protected from that nursing home or Medicaid spend down. So now Medicaid can pay the cost of care and we have a pot of resources to improve quality of life. Or if a married couple and one spouse needs long-term care, the healthy spouse isn't completely impoverished. Works different than a revocable trust, but as a certified law attorney, that's one of the things we set up is these asset protection trusts trying to protect against long-term care costs. And then naturally what happens is this leads into kind of a financial planning question as well. And this is why I'm also a certified financial planner. So we have these buckets of money and I like to think of it as kind of 3 buckets of money, like your now money, your soon money, your later money. I always look at time horizons. Like your now money is money you might need over the next year. So next year for expenses. So it looks like we need like 40,000 on top of the Social Security and pension. So there's an income gap of about $40,000. So ideally, I don't want that money in the market because if the market drops, you don't have that 40,000. So that's where typically for the now bucket, we're looking at like cash, savings, or even right now we have a high yield savings. That's about 5%, just over 5%. So we want to make sure that the expenses are covered for the year. Okay, so that should be sitting in cash. And then if we don't have that in cash, that's where we got to tap on these assets. Now, the later bucket in this situation is whatever's in the trust, because the trust money is protected. That's going to be the last thing that I want to touch is that money in the trust because it's protected. Right. So if we take money from there, then we're taking money from the protected money. So in this situation, what I would look at is most likely the IRA. Couple of reasons why. A, it's not protected because it has to be in the individual's name. B, taxes are going up in the future. And the question is, should we turn on payments? So it's take 40,000 a year from the IRAs beyond the RMDs. Yeah, I would probably go with number one. Take the 40,000 from the IRAs, pay the tax. And again, if you need 40,000, you're going to have to figure out the tax bracket and take out probably 50, send 10 to the IRS or whatever the percentage is, and then that'll be your post-tax money that can replenish that checking savings. I wouldn't start payments from an annuity. Yeah, so there's different ways to take money out of the annuity. And I probably, especially because it's non-qualified, I probably would not turn on the income stream from the annuity. The other way that you can take money out of annuity is through free withdrawals. That's more a common way where You can take out 10% a year without any fees. And then after you've had the annuity for a period of time, you can take it all out without any fees. So in this situation, I most likely would be pulling from the pre-tax IRA money. Replenish that, put that into like a high yield savings for the year so that you know that no matter what the market does, there's going to be the cash to cover the expenses for the year. And then I would work on getting that IRA down as the next kind of bucket of money, just focusing on that because it's pre-tax dollars, it's unprotected. And the last thing I would touch is anything owned by the trust. So yeah, so it's kind of we create a legal structure and then financial planning on the back end of trying to figure out, okay, now that we have this legal structure, what assets should we draw down? And that's really what we focus on, is not so much the accumulation side, more the preservation and distribution side. We help good families plan, protect, and preserve what's important to them. Okay, well, that's all the questions I had. So I only had that one question today. So with that, I want to thank everyone. If you do have more questions, feel free to email them over and I'll make sure to get to them next week. But it's been a pleasure.